Midmar Dam off-ramp to Pietermaritzburg has remained closed in both directions. It is believed that at least 20 trucks, we heard from the N3 toll concession, 23 trucks in particular, what they mentioned, in the vicinity of Mooi River as well. We're hearing toll plaza since last night. Let's get the very latest with regards to the situation on the ground. Jayde Leigh Paulse is live for us in Mooi River Toll Plaza there. What's happening where you are, Jayde?
Welcome back to Mooi River Plaza, Blaine. Yes, you know, I must just make mention of the fact that there's kids running around here and they're finding all of this so fascinating. Some are saying that it's Transformers. I think that many don't know exactly what happened last night, but they find it so amusing. Some have been running to me, yes, put us on TV, you want to add our voices, but a lot of excitement from the kiddies here on the ground. In terms of the operational, yes, cleanup operations are underway to try and move all these trucks, 19 trucks off the N3 so they can open up this particular road. As you heard there from Brigadier Jayde Leigh just talking about that they're going to be assessing the damage and then getting back to us with regards to that. I'm just going to bring in Leon. Leon has been at the forefront of this, trying to move some of these trucks. It's been a very tedious task, Blaine. Leon, tell us how many trucks still on the stretch and how far is the operational cleanup going?
The operational cleanup is doing very good. We're trying to work as timelessly as possible. It's not an easy task. As you can see, we're still lifting trucks here. There's about 5 or 6 trucks, 7 trucks maybe, that we still have to recover and move off the road to clear the roadway. So yeah, it's still a bit of a time left for us before we can be done here on this chaotic scene at Mooi River.
And I think many that are watching back at home, I suspect that this is going to be obviously hours in the making. We heard the provincial police also saying there that they'll only open up these roads once these trucks are moved out the way. You said that there's a few trucks still left. There was a petrol tanker here also, Leon. Just talk to us about moving that petrol tanker off that burnt.
Okay, no, not a problem. Yeah, there is a petrol tanker that's also still involved. It's about 1 kilometer back from where we are standing right now. We are busy waiting for the spill response company to decant the last bit of the product that's in the tanker before it can be safe for us to move it to its final destination. So that also might take a good couple of hours before we can do that, as the tanker is still hot and we can't really come close to it, as it's a life-threatening hazard as well. So we need to give them their chance to finish whatever they have to do before we can carry on with our task there as well.
And I'm glad that you're mentioning that this petrol tanker still has some, petrol in it, because earlier on we were told there was a statement released saying that there was no petrol in the tanker, so actually it was flammable.
Yes, it is very flammable liquid. It's actually not petrol, it's ethanol, as we can understand from what we've heard. And it's a very dangerous and highly flammable substance. I was on scene since about 11 o'clock last night. And this morning at 8, 9 o'clock, that thing was still flaming. So you can just imagine the dangers of that fluid that's still in that vehicle. And if it had to explode, what harm it could have done to the environment and the people staying close by.
Talk to me in layman's terms, what will be done with that petrol tanker? How will the decanting process work?
They've got I think it's called some suction pump that they'll decant it into another tanker. And then we will obviously come and lift it and load it and take it away, as we can't tow it away due to the heat. The subframe and the chassis on the vehicle has taken a severely, how can I say, a very hot, it was very hot. So yeah, it's quite very damaged as it is. So by towing it's not optional. We'll have to load it onto one of our low beds and remove it from scene safely.
Leon, baie dankie vir daai. Thank you. That was Leon. He's been at the forefront of trying to remove these trucks that have been torched last night. Blaine, it's from another company. There has been several other tow trucking companies also coming and assisting here just to move these trucks. Like he mentioned earlier on, there's still a few trucks on that road over there. There's a petrol tanker that still has flammable substance in it. Earlier on, we did report that fortunately there was no substance in it, but Leon just confirming there that in fact it is dangerous. They are concerned about it. They're going to try and decant it and make sure that they remove it out here so that it is not going to be a risk to anyone that is in this vicinity or that anyone that resides here in this part of the plaza. Blaine.
Yeah, you know, you're talking about the children. They're so innocent in situations like this, isn't it? They process information much more differently than we adults do. Speaking about adults, talk to us about police presence in that area. Spoke to Brigadier Jayde Leigh earlier, talking about deployment. What are you seeing there?
Yes, well, earlier on we did see police deployment here, Blaine. Right now, as it stands, fairly quiet. I haven't seen anyone on the ground. I think right now it's just cleanup operations, trying to move the rubble and the trucks off the ground. On the far right-hand side, just over my colleague there, Heinrich Petrus, it seems to be police on that end of the road, and I presume they are trying to just keep motorists from flocking to the N3. It is still closed. Like you heard Brigadier Jayde Leigh saying there, the N3 is still closed, but we will await once these trucks are removed and a further notice is given by the police with regards to this road being opened. But yeah, I think that the police are on the other end of the side. We're going to try and move from here, Blaine. We've been stationed for the better part of the morning, just bringing you rolling coverage of the trucks that were torched last night. We're going to try and see if we can't go to the other end and see if there's activity there, and we'll bring you the latest with that regard. Important
reporting. Why? That stretch of road behind Jayde Leigh there, very, very significant in terms of KwaZulu-Natal, in terms of the economics of KwaZulu-Natal. A lot of traffic going back and forth on that stretch of road. Jayde Leigh Paulse, appreciate your reporting. Stand by, come back to you in a short while. As I said, we've got eyes